It's the peak of 2021. Bitcoin just blasted to a new local high, and thousands of degens open up their laptops, aggressively sell their hard-earned BTC straight into obscure, unlisted altcoin trading pairs, and spray capital across the board like a broken fire hydrant. Within 48 hours, every single token on your dashboard, from legitimate Layer 1 protocols to outright dog meme clones, is pumping 500% in a synchronized wave of pure, unadulterated market euphoria. That beautiful, chaotic, everything pumps cycle, that is the noise the internet is still desperately trying to manifest today. Go open your feeds right now. You've got influencers screaming, "Don't worry about the red days. Once Bitcoin dominance peaks, the master rotation begins." Once Bitcoin dominance peaks, the master rotation begins. Capital will flow from BTC straight into alts. The BTC pair volumes will return. And the mega alt season we all know and love is right around the corner. But the signal, the cold mechanical data staring us in the face in 2026, delivers a brutal necessary reality check. The classic alt season as we historically knew it is dead and buried. The structural conveyor belt that once fueled those massive waves, where traders used Bitcoin as the primary base currency to buy alternative assets, has completely collapsed. The volume on BTC-to-altcoin trading pairs has entirely evaporated since 2021, hitting its absolute lowest levels in market history. So, does that mean you can never make money on an alternative token again? Is the game completely over? Not even close. But the rules have permanently changed. Today, we're doing a raw, 15-minute diagnostic autopsy on the death of the classic asset rotation, explaining why the old cycle is broken and mapping out the hyper-selective layout of the new alt economy. My name is Newell. Welcome back to the Signal and Noise podcast. Take a moment to like and subscribe. Let's dive in and see what the structural data reveals about the new market. Let's look at the mechanical crime scene here, because the plumbing explains everything. To understand why the old alt season can't happen, you have to understand what an alt season actually was. In 2017 and 2021, the primary gateway to buying a small cap token was Bitcoin itself. You deposited fiat, bought BTC, and traded that BTC on an exchange for an alternative asset. It was the standard entry point. Because Bitcoin was the dominant pricing denominative, when people took profits on Bitcoin, that capital flowed directly into altcoin order books via the BTC trading pairs. It was an isolated circular crypto ecosystem. The volume collapse. Since 2021, the trading volume on BTC altcoin pairs hasn't just dropped, it has flatlined. Traders are simply no longer recycling their Bitcoin profits into smaller assets through that traditional mechanism. The stablecoin hegemony. Why? Because stablecoins took over the world. Today, the total stablecoin supply sitting on the sidelines is sitting at a colossal $307 billion. Nobody uses a volatile asset like Bitcoin to measure the purchasing power of an altcoin anymore. Traders manage risk in USDT, USDC, or native protocol stables. The ETF wall. Here's the biggest structural block of the 2026 market: institutional capital. When Wall Street buys billions of dollars of Bitcoin through spot ETFs, that capital is trapped inside an institutional vault. BlackRock and Fidelity can't log into an offshore exchange at midnight and rotate their clients' Bitcoin inflows into an unvetted microcap meme token. The capital pipeline is completely siloed. When Bitcoin dominance hovers at historical highs, it isn't because an alt season is delayed. It's because the structural link that used to drag alts up behind Bitcoin has been completely severed. The old tide no longer lifts all boats. So if the classic everything pumps alt season is dead, what takes its place? Does the market just sit here forever while Bitcoin hogs the entire pool? No, alt season hasn't completely vanished. It has fundamentally evolved into a hyper-concentrated, data-driven environment. In the old days, you could buy a basket of 20 random tokens and expect all of them to move. In 2026, capital flows are incredibly picky, clustering almost exclusively into a tight circle of highly liquid, heavy utility assets. The liquidity concentration. Back in 2021, the top 10 alternative assets made up roughly 64% of the total altcoin market cap. Today, that concentration has aggressively spiked to over 82%. Trillions of dollars are pooling directly into select networks like Ethereum, Solana, and XRP, leaving the vast majority of the long-tail altcoin market completely starved for liquidity. The value capture shift. Look at the assets that are actually breaking away from Bitcoin right now. They aren't purely speculative hype plays anymore. They are protocols capturing real, undeniable on-chain revenue. Networks like Hyperliquid or resilient layers like BNB are sustaining massive user engagement and actual fundamental utility. The dry powder reality. The massive stablecoin supply isn't capital exiting the industry. It's institutional dry powder waiting for hyper-specific on-chain entry points. The new meta isn't a broad AltSeason. It is a series of localized sector rotations. One month, it's decentralized infrastructure. The next month, it's highly concentrated institutional tokenized real-world assets. If a project doesn't have real trading flow, clear volume depth, or a narrative tied to where capital is actively moving, it will sit at zero even if Bitcoin doubles. Let's bring it all home to the definitive structural verdict on the future of altcoins. The noise. The old-school 2021 style rotation is coming back any day now. And buying a massive random bucket of low-cap tokens will make you rich overnight because history always repeats. The signal, the classic BTC pair-driven AltSeason, is completely dead. The structural infrastructure has fundamentally shifted towards stablecoin-driven liquidity, institutional ETF walls, and extreme asset concentration. Stop praying for a ghost cycle that the plumbing no longer supports. If you want to outperform in this environment, you have to throw away the 2021 playbook. Stop looking at charts against BTC, focus on real on-chain volume, follow the stablecoin deployments, and accept that selectivity is your only real edge. The lazy market is over, the professional market is live. Stay sharp, stay focused. That's it for this brutal reality edition of the Signal and Noise podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss our next edition. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. The old rotation is gone, but the real capital efficiency is just getting started. Trade the structural reality, ignore the nostalgic moon boys, and we'll see you on the next block.